And I'm going to show you how to complete the carnivorous canal perspective.
So let's bring in a better mind that put that format together for the New York Times. He's also the author of Breaking the Two-Party Duel with the Case of Multi-Party Democracy in America. Lee Trump. Good to see you. Good to see you too. Glad to have you on board. Well, absolutely. I've been saying this for I've been saying this for a very long time because the two-party system, the binary, makes division. It makes opposition illegitimate, which is as long as government sucks, I'm okay. And what it does is it stagnates progress, and we see where we are now, and we see why it seems so attractive. But let's do it Socratically in terms of why it happened. First, let's start with the benefit. Why do you believe 6 parties, 4 parties, 5 parties, better?
Well, first of all, for the reason that you mentioned, which is I'm tired of you saying that I suck, but being cluster inclusion only works when there's just 2 parties. When you have 4 or 5, 6 parties, you can't get away with that. You've got to actually stand for something. So we get rid of the demonization. Part of the problem of our governing now is that everything is in terms of wins and losses for one or two parties, because both of the parties are trying to get back into power or getting a hold on power. So nobody wants to actually solve any public problems. They just want to have issues that allow them to win the next election. And it also creates a situation in which we have one party, the party of the cities and cosmopolitan, multiracial America, and another party, the party of rural, small town, traditionalist Christian America. And they are so separated in geographical space, divided social networks, that they view the other party as a fundamental threat. It's fundamentally different. And when you have a binary system, what people are doing is really easy. But if you have 5, 6 parties, you're going to have 4 diverse social networks. You're going to engage with other ideas. It makes politics more complicated, and that's of course it's actually good. So just going right to left, basically, the way we did it was you got your Christian conservatives that are rally first. Then you got the Trump type people, your jingoistic, populist Americans, and then you have the growth and whatever you want to call growth and progress, which is traditional Republicans, fiscal austerity, but center, right on social issues. Then you get to the new liberals, which would be like Cory Booker, and then you get just the old Democratic Party, which is where Joe Biden wants to be, versus the populists and that stuff. Then you get into what the Democratic Party has become, which is the intellectualists, right? And then you have the far left progressive that comes with the AOCs and Omar, with the Department of Police and the radical ideas of a lot more spending on welfare state. So that would be the ideological spectrum, which is not that far off. In terms of timing, historically we've had moments that create fundamental change, always from the ground up. Revolutionary War, the 1830s, where people get the right to vote. Then in the 1890s, the Gilded Age, corruption leads to the Progressive Era. You get direct primaries, conventions, recall elections, et cetera. We used to have states pick the senators and eventually went direct. So things get moving. You have a civil rights era. It's about 60-year cycles of reform. I think we're ready for it. Well, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I've been ready, but this seems unworkable to me. But now here's the problem. Lee, in the previous piece, if you look at his book, he outlines how we're going to have to change how you do congressional races to make them bigger catchment areas. So that you have multiple representatives, which then would encourage other parties, other stakeholders. Now, what you have is an exigency on cutting deals so that you can keep your plurality, you can keep your power in place. But here's the gospel. The electoral college. Because all these other parties will be squeezed out in the electoral college. And it wouldn't be an equal footing to become president. And if a party doesn't have any chance of ever having a says, I don't like a lot of these things, but you know what? I'm not voting for a Democrat, so I vote for the big yeah. That is a different system. Lee Trumpman, thank you for doing the brain work of thinking about ways to make it better. And let's keep talking about it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, let's fix it. It's really up to us. I mean,
Here's the benefit we have. You know the way it is now, it can't stay this way. All right, let's take a break. I'll be right back after this break with a very important vote. Thanks.
There's an America we built that one needs to, one that's been paved, that one that's forever alive. Freedom. Each of us to choose just what we want. Again, both. Introducing the all-new Jeep Red Cherokee now.
Isso não vai estar mal. Okay. Yeah. Atrás de mim, só que foi.
The reality is, people like this guy are considered domestic terrorists by the government, and he is among those still at large. The reward for finding the would-be bomber is up to $100,000 now. You know why? In part because of what he did, in part because of what authorities are worried people like him may do again. The next legit concern is in less than 10 days, September 18th, the date for what's being called perversely justice for J6. I say perverse because of this notion that those who attacked the Capitol are somehow victims. Those we all saw storm the cradle of our democracy and attack police officers they say they support. Look, I'm going to keep showing you this video because I hear and see too many trying to change the reality. That's not going to happen on my watch, especially when these same insurrectionist types are planning more chaos. An internal Capitol Police memo reviewed by CNN notes the intel community is seeing a noticeable uptick in violent chatter. So much so, they want to put the fence back up to protect the Capitol. The same people saying that freedom means not wearing a mask are
something and keeps one-upping itself. Switch to Xfinity Mobile and save hundreds on your wireless bill. Plus, save up to $400 when you purchase a new Samsung phone or upgrade your existing phone. Learn more at your local Xfinity store today.
Don't limit the dance on CNN.
Thank you for watching God's Lemon tonight. We start with lemon right now. Those fences are going to go back up in the elections and put on the capital election. So, wow, that is, here we are, 8 months later, since we're in the same spot. It's just we are. What has changed? The anger, the animus, the misinformation, the disinformation just gets later on. Remember the lasagna of lies? Yeah. It's just gotten higher and higher. Yeah. They're not changing their tune. The only change in tune that has been perceptible to me is right at the end of the Afghanistan exit when they were desperately trying to get people out. You got people on the right having both ways. And you say, get them out, get them out. Don't bring them here. Can't have those people here. Remember, they're brown. All of them brown. Right? But now, because you have so many on the right and a lot of veterans actively trying to get people out, they've been quieting people with their xenophobia for now. That's the only perception change I've seen. The big lie, the recall an election, in California is going to be rigged, Trump is spreading that BS again. All of the same vitriol is sort of played on it. Why would anything change? Well, you have to be careful about who you amplify people. That I like to get that platform. So I'm not saying that you're doing that. Us, but I mean, to think that we're in a place now where, as you said, has not changed much because people are still moving alive. Even with all of the video that came out of January 6th, even with all the evidence that came out about the election, the most secure election, the most secure in the history of this country, even with that, even with the fraud happening in Arizona, and no information being found with all of that, the lies, misinformation, misinformation, still power, and spilling over into the COVID. Absolutely, because the power isn't what people want to be true. Why would you not take the vaccine? Because you want to believe that you won't need it and that the risk is worth it to stick it to the people that you want to be against. That's what it is. You want it to be true. You want that on January 6th. They didn't really do anything wrong. You want to believe that it's about the deep state. You want to believe that it's about everybody else. Those are the people that are more susceptible. The problem is it doesn't take many to do something really awful. Maybe intended. Brainwash. It is a cult. Sorry. That's the truth. Okay. I'll see you later. You're the man. Yeah, I love you. You know what? You're okay. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I don't. I ain't from you out. I ain't about that great. I've always been. I'll see you soon. So, this is tonight. I got a lot to talk about, and the president's got a lot to talk about as well, because he's going to give a major speech tomorrow. The president contending with how we got to where we are tonight with COVID. Okay, a place where virtually every single death is completely connected. You know what I said? Every single death is completely connected. And unvaccinated kids across the country are now caught in the middle of the political battles over masks and vaccinations. West Virginia's Republican Governor, Jim Justice, who has been pro-vaccine all along, but has not had it. He was spreading conspiracy theories in his state. He has had it. In his state, where less than 40% of residents are fully vaccinated. For God's sake, remember, Dr. Nicole uses this to understand why in the world do we have to come up with these crazy ideas? And there's crazy ideas that the vaccine's got something in it and it's tracing people wherever they go. And the same very people that say that are carrying their cell phones around. I mean, come on. Come on. We just need to do good sense and get ourselves vaccinated and it will stop this thing. He's right. Come on. They'll take all kinds of shots. My back hurts, this hurts, I'll take that shot. You know what's in it. If you really know what's in it. But you'll take that. I'm like, man, I need to take it. You take that. Right? down to Florida, right? A judge is handing Governor Ron DeSantis to defeat today, allowing schools in the state to mandate masks while the case is appealed. But as the mask wars heat up in school districts all across the country, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is pushing masks for school kids too young to get vaccinated. These little ones don't have the choice to take the vaccine. Wouldn't let them run across the street without thinking you certainly wouldn't put them in a crowded classroom without a mask. But let's remember just how vicious these mask wars have gotten.
These are demonic entities, all school boards of all the United States of America, and all of us Christians sticking together to take them all out. Masks don't work. These doctors that sit up here are staring at us, looking at us like we're scumbags. They need to go back to medical care.
So I was having a conversation with someone who listens to this show, and that's having a conversation with someone who works here. And we're the same. And so, and she said, man, I'm older. When I was in my 30s, I had my kids, and I'm so glad I did it. Because I would say, enjoy everything. And you get to be a certain age, especially with your 50s, like, I don't know, you know well. But I do more than I did when I was in my 20s, 30s, and before. So sometimes the people should just have some listen to that. It's hard to believe that anybody takes stuff like that seriously, right? Yeah, the Nazi, how's that? No. But if we're going to get more people vaccinated, we're going to have to find a way to get the message across. The message that masks and vaccines save lives. So CNN Garcia-Landry talked to some folks in Missouri about why they don't trust the vaccine. Here it is.
Well, the one thing is, they shared with my friend, and they would have had the vaccine, already had it, they wouldn't give it to him because they knew that when he'd be re-elected, it wasn't nothing. So they had to bring them down and send them and give it, I mean, just an election was over, here we got it. That might be my president, I ain't thinking that's, I'll take what we give here, but I'm not taking yours.
They took the vaccine now.
That guy sitting next to the dog, he's just smiling. Look, here's the people. They sit around and they watch, and they listen to certain people give them this information. They are adults and they're responsible for their own being and what they think. What he thinks is fashionable. Because the fact is, the former president did get vaccinated. Okay? And this president is actually given the credit for helping to get the vaccine. And just a couple weeks ago, the former guy got approval by supporters in Alabama for recommending the vaccine. And in this study out tonight, girls of Pfizer, with their vaccine, are about 90% effective in keeping people 50 and older out of the hospital. Come on. Let's deal with that. Not just what you want to believe. And not having what your own beliefs do. There are facts. And those are the facts. The White House hoping that the president's new vaccine mandates will make a dent with the 26.7% of eligible Americans who are not vaccinated. And then there is the White House tonight, apparently removing 11 officials from the previous administration from military academy advisory boards after a 6 p.m. deadline for them to resign. And these aren't just any officials. We're talking the likes of Sean Spicer, remember that? Gary, biggest audit security, Sean Spicer, and then telling a Conway of alternative facts. Well, White House Press Secretary inside the same yesterday.
I will let others evaluate whether they think Kellyanne Conway and Sean Spicer and others were qualified or not political to serve on these boards. But
not exactly nonpartisan environmental letter to President Biden saying, I'm not resigning, but usually. This is the woman who served in disgrace. Tyson King's one-term former presidential service of the Now let's remember, in November, just months before he left office, the former guy dismissed several members of the Defense Policy Board before their terms were up, including former Secretaries of State Madeleine Albright and History. Now there are people in this group asked to resign because they were pretty qualified. But there's also Heidi Stirrup, a former White House liaison to the DOJ, who was banned from entering the building after she tried to assess sensitive information about bogus election fraud in Mississippi. And then there is retired Colonel Douglas McGregor, whose history of controversial comments includes a 2013 radio show where he talked about what he called the entitled underclass of people concentrated in large urban areas. And the threat basically to be closed. Now, who do you think it's from? Or as we say in my house, who do you think it's talking about? That's what he's talking about. Exactly what he's saying. Got a lot more to come on. There is a White House Islamic Texas Governor Greg Abbott's defense of his state's 6th abortion ban, claiming they'll eliminate it.
It doesn't require that at all because obviously it provides at least 6 weeks for a person to be able to get an abortion. So for one, it doesn't provide that. That said, however, let's make something very clear. Rape is a crime, and Texas will work tirelessly to make sure that we eliminate all rapists from the streets of Texas.
Governor Abbott has a means of eliminating all rapists or all rape from the United States, then there'd be bipartisan support for that.
So, in the meantime, while there's this ominous news tonight on Capitol Hill, this is what I was talking to Chris about. Also, someone's saying that the U.S. Capitol Police formally requested a defense around the Capitol be temporarily put in place again ahead of a planned right-wing rally on September 18th, a rally in support of rioters jailed after the insurrection of January 6th. The latest intelligence on the so-called Justice for J6 rally knows that there has been an uptick in violent online rhetoric around it. The sources of the Capitol Police Board is likely to approve the fencing, though it is expected to be smaller and not for only a few days at most. Fingers crossed. So it was just 8 months ago that the big lie of bogus election fraud fueled one of the darkest days in American history. January 6th, when that's when bloodthirsty rioters tried to overthrow our free and fair presidential election. Andre lawmakers forced to run for their lives, beating police officers, American heroes, trying to defend the sea of our democracy. We all saw what happened on that horrible day. Remember what you saw with your own eyes. When you hear those calls for quote, justice for the rioters who tried to take down our democracy. And those are the facts. Another one is that it's clear the White House is a message tonight for Democrats that he can't afford to lose. You're either with President Biden or against him. The question is, can they push his agenda across the finish line?
How much will it cost if we don't do it?
after wait 15 minutes before inserting couples. Talk to an eye doctor about Zygra. I prefer you do. Zygra. Not today, dry eye.
Welcome to the back of your mind. This is where we learn how to eat.
I make progress with my mental health. So when I started having unintentional body movements called parakinesia, I ignored them. But when the twitching and jerking in my face and hands affected my day-to-day, I finally had to say, it's not okay. It was time to talk to my doctor about Austedo. She said Austedo helps reduce the uses in adults, while I continue with most of my mental health medication.
Austedo can cause depression, suicidal thoughts or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed and have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, feelings, or in suicidal thoughts. Common side effects include inflammation of the neck, throat, insomnia, and sleepiness. Don't take Austedo if you have liver problems, pain, pleasure pain, intravenous, or bowel-dense. Austedo may cause irregular, fast heartbeat, restlessness, instability, Parkinson's disease, fever, stiff muscles, problems thinking, and sweat.
Talk to your doctor about Austedo. It's time to treat TB. TB is not okay. Visit askforaustedo.com.
In 2016, I was working at a warehouse. My brother passed away, and a couple of years later, my mother passed away. After taking care of them, they really wanted to become a nurse. Amazon helped me train and push the medical system and study to become a registered nurse.
Anything your wild child does, Pampers Cruisers 360 Fit can too. With a stretchy waistband and adaptive 360 Fit, so they can move the way they want to. Pampers Cruisers 360 Fit.
What's the definition of woman?
Look, some questions that still need answers. CNN special report, America's longest war, Sunday at 9.
President Biden is set to unveil his six-point plan tomorrow. His administration will try to end the COVID pandemic. So some CNN. The plan will include vaccine requirements, which sounds like mandates, further protection for vaccinated Americans with booster shots, a focus on keeping schools open, increasing testing and requiring masking, plus economic recovery and improving care for those with COVID-19. There's a lot to discuss tonight. We've seen that Singapore commentator David Axelrod and Matthew Dowd, the former chief strategist for President George W. Bush, also the author of Revelations on the River. Jim Tobin, good evening. Matthew, we're now getting a sense of what will appear from the president tomorrow in his effort to curb the Delta variant and boost vaccinations. Is it time to see more sticks and less carrots in this battle, Crystal?
Well, there's been a ton of carrots. If you're a few sticks, so I think we need more sticks. It's gone from hesitancy to out and out obstruction to folks getting the vaccine. I noticed today I saw information 91% of Biden voters have gotten the vaccine, 50% of Trump voters have gotten the vaccine, and that number has not risen very much in the last few weeks. So I think we're at the point in order to protect the common good, which all of us should have an interest in, and move forward. I think we're going to have to start seeing sticks, and that's going to start including mandates and ways to sort of make people do what's best for the communities.
David, there's people, I talked to down in
What happened?
Help me.
This bathroom?
Help me, please.
What am I supposed to do?
Help me,
Did
please.
you take your pill?
No.
You take your pill. Stop being stupid.
Can you help me? Can you help me?
I can't help you. You did that thing when I was on the sofa yelling.
Please get the pill.
Go take your pill. Right here.
No,
I just got this morning. Cramping pill. Right here.
please.
Take your cramping pill. Take your cramping
Please
pill.
take it.
Take your cramping pill. Take your cramping pill. Take your cramping pill. Take your cramping pill, you. There's nothing I can do.